Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Lexi DIY, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, this is not my normal intro place, but I really wanted to do the intro in here because today we're doing a super exciting video. We are going to be transforming Dustin's office. Now, this is the only room left with wood paneling in it. I transformed the wood paneling in our living room, and I'm going to be doing the same thing in here. Unfortunately, we do have to keep the carpets, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and hop into today's video. It might end up being in two parts. I'll let you know on the screen because I don't know right now. Today we have a super exciting video, but before we get into that, I want to give a huge thank you to Create Room for sponsoring today's video. Now, you guys might wonder, what is inside this huge box, Lexi? It is a dream box, and I am absolutely so excited about it. So let's go ahead and set it up together. I chose to go with the pre-built dream box. So it came in 3 pieces, and me and Dustin just took those inside and I screwed on the doors. And then I just put in all of the shelving and configured where I wanted my totes to go. Now, the great thing about this, you guys, is it is super customizable and you can really configure it however you want and change it at any time because everything just like snaps in. And these are the divider totes that I got. Those just snap right together too, and the front is actually clear so you can see what's inside of it. I also got the crown, which has a light. That was super important for me because I don't have like super great lighting in my office. But once I had configured everything, I started to put away all my supplies. Like I said, I did get the divider drawers, and that just kind of helps me kind of section everything off because I have a lot of like random supplies everywhere. Once I'm ready to use it, I just simply fold it out and it is ready to go. This is so beautiful, but it's also extremely functional and such a space saver, you guys. I also ended up getting a few extra things to add on. So I got the power strip, the Bluetooth speakers, and my favorite thing is this little arm that can hold an iPad or a phone. I'm gonna use that to film a lot of TikToks. But on this side, I did more of my DIY and like craft supplies, and on the other side I did more of my renovation supplies, which I know is kind of odd, but it works really well for me. I also put some of my Cricut stuff over there, and once I'm done, all I have to do is just fold everything back up and it is concealed and organized and ready for me whenever I want to use it next time. So thank you again to Create Room for sponsoring today's video. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Dustin's office before I start doing anything in here. So this is the current state of Dustin's office. Honestly, we don't use this room too much, mainly because there is heat up here, but there's not AC like there is in the rest of the house because it's over the garage. So I'm not sure if they did this room later or what the reason for that was. But it's not super functional for him to use all year round. So currently he's actually sharing an office with me, which is really great that I got the dream box because now I have more space for him to use on the other side of the desk. And basically what I'm doing is kind of just putting some stuff away and then pulling everything to the center of the room. I am going to go back and reorganize and rearrange the room. But essentially, I want to get everything off the walls so I can get ready to paint. And I also needed to vacuum this carpet because it was in desperate need of some love before we got started. So you can see there's kind of a little gap here in the trim. So I just grabbed my brad nailer and put a few nails in. Now, I do need to add some additional trim. You can see on the smaller slanted wall at the top of the wood paneling that there's some gapping, and for some reason they don't have any, like when we bought the house, they didn't have any trim around that portion, and also some trim around one of the doors to where like you can put storage and stuff on the outsides of the room is missing as well. So that's definitely something I'm going to need to do. Now, what you guys see me do here is I am painting with a trim brush in every single groove of the wood paneling. This is like a highly debated thing whether this is necessary or not, but I am here to tell you that you definitely want to take this step. And here's why. So you could hypothetically go over it with just a like deep textured foam roller and push really hard. That's gonna be a lot more work for you to get in those grooves, as well as they are significantly darker than the wood paneling itself, as you can see. So getting a thicker coat on those before you go over and roll it, it's going to save your arms, and it's going to end up looking so much better, and you're not gonna have to do nearly as many coats. Now, even when you do this method, you are not going to cover the wood paneling in 1 or 2 coats of paint. And that's just from my experience. You can definitely use a primer. I'm using a paint and primer all-in-one, but there are tannins in wood paneling that are going to bleed through the paint, especially when you're doing such a light color, when you're painting it white, for instance. So just keep that in mind. But when I was showing this on TikTok, somebody actually said it looked like I was icing a gingerbread house. And you guys, now I kind of can't unsee it. And I just love that. So maybe we should call this the gingerbread office. I don't know. What are you guys thinking about that? Okay, it's day 2 of painting the office. And as you can see, we did all of the lines yesterday. And we did a first layer of rolling, and I'm sure you can see on camera, but I'll bring you a little closer. It's looking quite patchy, but you can see how much the lines where we went in with the paintbrush are so much thicker, and that was like so necessary to make sure that when we roll over them, they are covered. So we love to see that. We still have a lot of the room left to go where we haven't even rolled over it once. So we're gonna be doing that next. And then of course, we're gonna try to get in a second coat today. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna tackle the built-ins today or not, so we'll see. I also wanted, while I was rolling the rest of this on, to talk to you guys about how important it is when you're picking a paint color and the undertones that go over wood paneling. So when I did the first coat, I used Bare Ultra Pure White, which is kind of just like a neutral pure white. And it was still looking a little bit orange after the second coat, which I don't know if I get to in this video, but when I went over for my third coat, which I definitely don't show in this video, but I wanted to mention it in case you were planning on, you know, maybe doing this project anytime soon before I get to that, is I changed up the color to Frost, which has a blue kind of undertone that will cancel out the orange. So if you're going to do a white color, I highly recommend doing kind of like a blue toned white, or just not going with a warm color if you're really trying to like hide the fact that it's wood paneling. Anyway, I cleaned out this little built-in, and then I just started getting to painting. Of course, I'm gonna go through the lines. Now, on this built-in, I am going to go back and like the front and the trim pieces, I'm gonna go over them with a different kind of like lacquered white. But this is a paint and primer all in one, so I'm just gonna go ahead and hit all of it before I tape it off, if that makes sense. But portions of this will be the trim color, and portions of it will be the color that it is now. I also, on this portion of the room, started with that color Frost by Bare that has the blue undertone, and it definitely made a huge, huge difference, even just on the first coat. We are gonna be wrapping up today's video right here. We are gonna hold off on the before and after so it can be a big, huge reveal in part 2. So definitely stay tuned for that. Again, a huge thank you to Create Room for sponsoring today's video. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!